Kevin out here in the wild, this time with all the outside background noises, because I'm kinda rushing to get this done before Zane leaves for vacation again. Although by the time you're seeing this, he's already on vacation, but that's not the point. The point is we're here to look at probably the second greatest Stegosaurus toy ever, the Hammond Collection Stegosaurus. I do say second best because Beast of the Mesozoic also made a Stegosaurus earlier this year, and, well, let's just say I don't think any Stego toy is ever gonna top that one. But that one cost $200, and we don't got that kind of money for a dinosaur that, let's be honest, everyone has a toy of this dinosaur in their collection one way or another. Then, but yeah, so we can settle for the second greatest, which is the Stegosaurus from the Hammond Collection. And let's go over why this thing is so great. But before we can even do that, it's only right to talk about the first Stegosaurus toy that ever came out. Oh, grass. Yeah, very good grass. I'm just gonna eat some grass for a bit before I actually begin the review because, gotta eat your vegetables. Now, admittedly, this Stegosaurus has always been pretty mid. It doesn't have, the best articulation compared to the other dinosaur toys of its time. As you can see, it's probably just the head that can, move up and down. Pretty solid neck articulation. But the legs can only move front and back, including the back ones. And the action gimmick is basically a plate on the tail, you push it, and it activates a pushing motion for the tail. That's about it. That was basically the Stegosaurus toy for, the rest of Mattel's career. A bit of alteration, some of them could bob their heads and whatnot, but that was it. That was as far as Stegos went. And even as far as paint goes, it's mid. It's not the greatest. Its nails aren't painted, and, it's just not the greatest Stegosaur toy ever. But, it was a good one. It was passable for the time. But this new Stego blows that Stego out of the water in every way possible. Let's get into the review. Starting off with the obvious, the paint apps are so much better. I will say, though, for a Lost World Stego, it's kinda maybe a little too green. It's been a while since I looked at the Stego in the Jurassic World Style Guide to really get my references straight. I just feel like there's the green is a bit too harsh. That could be a bit more muted. Not like more of an army green than just a forest green, you know what I mean? Maybe I'm not making any sense, I don't know. But the addition of the brown over the yellow and the green is just a very nice touch of dry brushing. All the toes are painted. I'm just gonna say that out there. Every plate is painted, the tail is painted, and the face is also painted. And yeah, I think we are looking, I think we actually have a Mattel toy that is fully painted. There isn't a single ounce of missing paint anywhere. Everything feels specially applied. Nothing is out of place. It's all here. This is a fully painted dinosaur toy from Mattel. The only other one I can think of is the first T-Rex they ever made, and possibly the Brachiosaurus, but we never got that one, so I can't really say. I also apologize if the audio quality isn't that great to listen to, because I am outdoors, and there is no time for me to go to the recording booth and do this. I've got to do this all outside, so you can hear all the children screaming, and the crows cawing, and all those wonderful nature sounds. Let's talk glass eyes, which is if we can actually zoom in on the thing, you can see that in the light, it is basically your average glass eye, but with the pupil painted on the out, it actually looks better in the shade on camera. In the light, it doesn't look you can barely see it. But this is one of the cases where it's only good because they painted the pupil on the outside, and then in the light it doesn't look that good. In the shade, pretty solid. You can actually see the eye and whatnot. Although, being a herbivore, I think you could have just given it just painted it black, called it a day. As, lots of herbivorous animals have those kind of eyes, unlike the predators, which have golden eyes, which increases vision. But if you do shine the camera just right, you might be able to see the eyes glowing. let's talk about the plates of this dinosaur, if we're not that close. Previous Stegosauruses had pretty sort of flexible plates. They weren't stiff, but they weren't like super bendable. I guess the tail was bendable, but that makes sense because they don't want kids to poke themselves with these giant spikes. That is also the case with this Stegomizer here, as it is very, very rubbery, almost more rubbery than the other one. Can't really tell, but the plates, they are definitely super, like, you can see for yourself. Look at this. Look at it right here. And you can even see that this plate is kind of warped. I think with every Stego, they're gonna have their own form of, like, warped plates because of like quality control packaging, but you know what, I think that's fine. It means that every Stegosaurus is going to be unique. And this guy comes with standard Hammond Collection articulation. On the head, the neck and the head can rotate really nicely. I really like the range of motion of this head right here. And legs, they all have joints in separate areas that can all rotate in their own way, including front feet as well. They are kind of stiff to keep the thing from falling over. And back legs, same thing. And the tail, of course, despite having all these plates, is bendable. But I will admit, because of the plates, it's a little hard for me to actually articulate it too much. And of course, we gotta talk about the mouth. The mouth, I'm actually happy they didn't add articulation on the mouth, because I think if the baby Stego was anything to go by, it would have looked really bad on this Stego, and I think it looks better with the mouth closed. However, if this Stego had come out just a little later in the year, it could have had the same treatment as the Hammond Collection Sinoceratops that now has swappable mouth parts, so it has a much more natural looking open mouth, and we could have gotten that for the Stego, and just for that reason, I cannot call this Stego perfect because it just missed out on having a good-looking mouth. But now it's time to do some size comparisons. First, let's compare it with the Stego size, and you can see there is a huge difference. The old Stego, which is one of the larger dinosaur toys, is puny. Well, not puny, but definitely smaller in comparison to this new one, and I love it because Stegosaurus was a big animal, and this is definitely a big dinosaur toy. For a human comparison, here he is with Darius, which is like, it's kind of uneven because we're on grass, but yeah, Darius does look pretty small in comparison, especially when you put in a Triceratops Ghost, which is probably one of the better looking raptors in this line, because every other raptor just has something about them that I don't like, but this one, no, I like Ghost. Ghost looks great, and I can't wait for the other Atrociraptors to come out, and yeah, it looks small in comparison to this Stego. Not tiny, but just small. Next is Ankylosaurus, which is another dinosaur that is slightly bigger than its mainline counterpart, but still really tiny compared to the Stego, which ironically might match up factually in like real life, but in terms of Jurassic World, these things are Goliath, so this one also needs a size up. But me, I think I'm okay with it being smaller. I don't need a bigger Ankylosaurus. It's fine. That's just me though. No, 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 no. This grass is tough. It's leaf. But finally, we have to make a comparison that everyone should be trying to make with the Hammond Collection Allosaurus. This guy also came out, well, he arrived earlier in the year, but having them together, this is like, it's not the Beast of the Mesozoic matchup, but it's definitely still really cool. I'm surprised Jurassic doesn't capitalize on real-life encounters like this, because like, come on, they have Stego, they have Allo, and they've never interacted in any of the movies or the shows. It just feels like kind of a wasted opportunity, you know? But I guess it's also to be expected because, like, you know, we gotta see the big carnivores fight each other. That's what Jurassic is all about. Oh, no, I'm about to rant about something that isn't related to the video. But yes, that's gonna conclude my review of the Hammond Collection Stegosaurus. How this review ended up shorter than the other ones? I don't know, maybe because I'm only reviewing one and not like 3-4 figures at a time. But yeah, what do you think of this Hammond Collection dinosaur? Do you think it's absolute perfection, almost perfect, or absolute dumpster fire? I think almost perfect, as again, if it had that swappable mouth like the Sino had, it would have been perfect. But what do I know? I'm just a random lizard on the internet. Goodbye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the video from beginning to end. If you want to see more, subscribe to the channel and join the Zainreborn community. See you in the next one. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye.